What's up, everyone? It's Q from Retro Q Gaming, and here's something I almost completely forgot about. So it's more so a reminder slash PSA, depending on whatever way you want to look at it. If you have pre-ordered or intend to pre-order the Ultimate Edition of Halo Wars 2, this does not apply to the Standard Edition. So, like I said, the Ultimate Edition of Halo Wars 2 on either Xbox One or Windows 10, don't forget that you now, well, soon, I should say, rather than now, as of next week, you will have access to Halo Wars 1 Remastered, or Halo Wars 1 Definitive Edition as it's officially titled. So it's basically a remastered version of Halo Wars 1. You will get access to it on December 20th. This information is accurate as of today, the 13th of December, off directly off my Xbox One. It's in the official blurb on the store description page. So don't forget, if you do have this pre-ordered or intend to pre-order the Ultimate Edition of Halo Wars 2, you will get access to Halo Wars 1 Remastered on PC and Xbox One on December 20th. Or should I say, at least come December 20th, they promise to send out the codes within the next 7 to 10 days. So you should have the code realistically within 10 days. Personally, every time Microsoft has said they'd send me a code based on, whatever, starting on whatever date, I've usually had it within 24 hours. So chances are you're going to have it almost instantly, or at least, within the first day or two usually. So it Halo Wars 2 doesn't come out until the 27th of February, okay? So realistically, you're still getting way early access to the definitive edition of Halo Wars 1. A game that never made its way to PC, mind you. This was only available on Xbox 360. It is backwards compatible with the 360 version on Xbox One. But the main thing is this is essentially a remastered version of it, and it will be available on PC for the first time. So if you're not familiar with what Halo Wars is, both Halo Wars 1 and 2, it's a real-time strategy game, something not usually found on consoles, or at least on the 7th generation consoles. Unfortunately, I will say this, that I find there to be two different types of real-time strategy games. There's kind of what I call the dumbed-down versions and the non-dumbed-down versions. Now, when you look at, say, games like old school Command and Conquer, Red Alert, etc., as they go along, up to a certain point, of course, they're what I consider, regular. StarCraft 2 is a good example as well. They're what I consider regular turn-based strategy game, or not turn-based, real-time strategy games. The reason for that is basically every individual unit and essentially every individual unit is its own individual unit, if that makes sense. When you look at games like Halo Wars and Halo Wars 2, and here's another one that I actually credit for almost inventing, or at least making it mainstream, the dumbed down version of real-time strategy games. You're looking at, say, Company of Heroes or Company of Heroes 2. Again, Halo Wars 2 as well. Now, that's not to say that these aren't good games. Company of Heroes, despite introducing the dumbed down system into real-time strategy, or at least the mainstream real... God, I'm tongue twisted all over the place. Mainstream real-time strategy at the time, at least anyway. I was going to say Call of Duty Heroes. Company of Heroes was one of the best games, the best real-time strategy games I've ever played. So it's not to say that the dumbed down ones are just, not as good or they're easier or whatever. It's just that when you click on one unit, it's usually a squad or a platoon. Obviously, you have bigger things like tanks and all, but some of your smaller units, like, say, your infantry and all, they'll actually come as a squad. So one individual unit will be a squad. So that's why I refer to them as that. But the fact that this is going to be available on PC for the first time is going to be really, really good. Because real-time strategy games are made with mouse and keyboard in mind. It's just with the movement and the unit selection and just everything about it, it's definitely designed for these in mind. Having said all that as well, supposedly we're going to be having keyboard, or sorry, not keyboard. I'm usually just saying keyboard and mouse. We're allegedly going to be getting mouse support on Xbox One in the run up to Halo Wars 2. Now that makes perfect sense as well, because it's a strategy game why not just put it in? Even if it's just for strategy games, put it in for that, because it's definitely gonna be the definitive way to control it. So when Halo Wars 2 comes out, on February 27th, on both platforms, it's going to be good. I will say another thing as well is, if you are pre-ordering or have already pre-ordered the digital edition, or the digital Ultimate Edition of Halo Wars 2, you do also get early access to the main game as well. So you'll actually get early access to the main game, Halo Wars 2, on the 17th of February. So you get it 10 days early. Now, I don't know how I'm going to go about this, because there's different ways I want to do this. First off, I'm not sure if they're going to sell Halo Wars 1 Definitive Edition by itself, probably only digitally, separately down the line. I don't know if that's ever going to be on sale or not. I'm not sure. So, because I'm still on Windows 7 Ultimate 64-bit as it is at the moment, I do plan on getting... I was actually originally planning on getting Windows 10 within the last 2 or 3 months, but that fucked up. I had other plans that were more important. And I do intend to get Windows 10, probably within the next 2 or 3 months, preferably before February... I was going to say February 27th, but preferably before February 17th, because the game is Xbox Buy Anywhere, or Xbox Play Anywhere. So if I buy a digital copy on the Xbox One of the Ultimate Edition, I will have access to Halo Wars 2, Halo Wars 1 Definitive Edition, and all the Season Pass content on Windows 10 when I get that, and log in onto the Windows Store with my Xbox account. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. Could it possibly be the first Xbox One game where I won't buy a physical copy and I'll just go straight to digital? I know, for example, for Gears of War 4, I wanted the big collector's edition. I bought the big collector's edition. I also ended up buying a digital copy as well, so I'd have it when it comes to, or when I get around to going to PC, and I can also play it just digitally on Xbox One at the same time. So yeah, it was a bit of a strange one. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I recommended Halo Wars 1 at least anyway. Obviously, I haven't played Halo Wars 2, but I definitely recommend the first one. So we'll see how the second one pans up. It's looking pretty good. I will give it that as well. So also, just as a quick little extra side note as well, if you do pre-order the Ultimate Edition of Halo Wars 2 on Xbox One or PC, whatever, if you have Halo 5 Guardians, you also get an additional little bonus pack for Halo 5 Guardians as well. One thing I will say is, if you do pre-order the Ultimate Edition of Halo Wars 2, you actually have to search through the contents, or search through the store, search through the contents of the bundle, or search through the actual Microsoft Xbox store and find the individual Halo 5 Guardians Halo Wars 2 pack. It doesn't download automatically in-game in Halo 5. You actually have to download it manually through the store, through the bundle. So make sure you do that as well if you pre-order the Ultimate Edition. So anyway, that's it. Let me know if you're excited about Halo Wars 1, Halo Wars 2, the Definitive Edition, whatever. Are you looking forward to PC, Xbox, the fact that it's Xbox Play Anywhere, or the fact that we're supposed to even be getting mouse support for Xbox One, even if it's just for this game? Because that's, again, I said, that's pretty cool. It's easily, if you've never played a real-time strategy game with a mouse and keyboard, it's definitely the way to go, and there's so much difference. If you've never played it with a controller, trust me, you don't want to play it with a controller. It's serviceable, but it's a bit unwieldy. So anyway, let me know all that kind of good stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You can follow me on Twitter. Details in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the rest of the videos in my channel.